So I'd like to talk today about ESP, otherwise known as extrasensory perception. It's not as popular today of a thing to talk about as it was when I was a kid in the 80s. It was a big thing. Everybody was talking about it. People would go on TV and they could claim to read other people's minds and know what they were thinking, blah, blah, blah. So I also remember that when that was happening, it was viewed by the Christian culture that I grew up in as evil and bad. And I obviously don't understand the entirety of it. But here's what I do know. Human beings are spiritual beings, and our spirits are more real and permanent than our bodies. We are spiritual, mental, emotional, physical beings, all intertwined. And since our spirits are more real and permanent than our bodies, doesn't it make sense that we could communicate with our spirits to each other? Now, a lot of you have probably experienced this, I would hazard a guess, where you just kind of pick up on something that somebody's thinking or they're going to say, or you just know things and you don't know how you know them, right? Or you just get a sense about somebody or something, or most of us have experienced similar things like this. And it's not uncommon, and it's not evil or bad or weird. It's very logical because it's our spirits communicating to each other, right? And it happens. And it is extrasensory in the idea that it goes beyond our physical senses, right? It's beyond sight, it's beyond hearing, it's beyond touch, it's beyond smell, it's beyond taste, right? It's what some have dubbed the sixth sense, right? And I would actually call it the first sense. Since we are primarily spiritual beings, it makes total logical sense that we could communicate with each other spiritually. So these people back then, and even now, I'm sure there's some still around somewhere, who claim to have ESP, extrasensory perception. Well, they probably do, because we all do, really. It's not such a big mysterious thing. It's just the fact that we are spiritual beings and we can communicate spiritually, and our spirits communicate with each other. To wit, God, who is spirit, right? The ultimate spirit, of course, communicates with us. And when he does it, his primary way is spiritually, because that's who he is, right? He can speak physically or audibly or whatever in any way he wants. Obviously, he's God, but primarily what I've noticed is that when he communicates, you know in your spirit. That's how you know God's talking to you, right? So we put English words around it to make sense to us. Hey, God told me something. But the reality of it is, or was, that the great spirit, right, which God is, communicated something from his spirit to our spirit, and we just knew it was true, right? So the fact that we could do this with each other is not too far of a stretch. Have a nice day.